How important is what the Knicks are doing right now, Allan, to the season?
Well, first of all, what they're doing right now is having a training camp, which we didn't have at all last year, which is huge. When you have new additions and you have the core that we have, this is critical because you're putting in sets, you're establishing your identity, especially offensively. I think when Coach Woodson came on last year, we did a good job defensively, but as the season went on, especially in the playoffs, just getting solid possessions was one of the things that hurt us. So that's why we're just excited about having Ray, especially, and Jason, and even Pablo, and having these guys that could come in and really facilitate the offense and allow Amari and Melo and Tyson and Steve Novak, JR Kidd, and J.R. Smith, and all these guys just do what they do best.
Having guys like Marcus Camby, Kurt Thomas back with the team, you obviously went to the finals with them. You know what it's like to win in New York with them. Having them in the room, though, because you could tell the story about it. But these guys haven't experienced that yet. But having guys in the room that have experienced the other side, what we haven't seen in a while, how important is that as well to kind of connect to the past and see what could be here?
It was funny just walking, seeing these guys in the locker room.
Grab a jersey?
They make me feel funny right now. I don't know how to respond to it because, just playing with those guys, I know what they're like. I know the wars that they've been through. And essentially what happens as the season goes on, you're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to lose 2 games. But how do you respond? How do you minimize those moments? And how do you catch, the things that happen in a game where you miss an assignment, you miss a rotation, the communication? Those are the type of things that veterans like Kurt, Marcus, and hopefully Rasheed gets healthy, and Jason. Again, those are the things that they can do as they happen instead of having to wait until halftime or the next day. That's what great teams do and great teammates do, experienced teams do. So you gather that momentum, and as you go into the playoffs, those things become your habit, and that's really what you have to have.
What is your job as far as this team goes now?
This team, well, essentially just assist Glenn in building the team. I try to talk to a lot of the guys, keep the pulse up on the guys on the team. Anytime they need me, oversee our scouting department, help going out. Now we'll have a first-round pick, so I'll be going out on the road, seeing a lot of college games, and then running our D-League team. And hopefully, as players continue to develop, we'll have room for them on the roster as we move forward.
Has anybody on this Knicks team ever asked you to help them in how to shoot the basketball?
Yeah. I get that from time to time. A lot of times in the summer.
Love that.
You know what? It's fun because I can still come out sometimes and shoot and play horse against them sometimes, and it's just fun for me. But we have a great staff. Woody has really assembled a great developmental staff. We got Dave Hopland and a couple guys that have really proven themselves to really be great developmental coaches.
Allan Houston or Steve Novak, who you have?
If standstill shooting, no offense, Al, I'll take you right now. But you were talking about the D-League team that you run and developing. Look, this is a team we know, older roster. Starting 5 in their prime, but still, you got older players, and that's all everybody's focused on. But you're not focused on the older guys in the D-League. You're looking at developing young guys that you can eventually work your way up in the future.
Well, the good thing is, when you have a training camp like, Coach Woodson and Glenn have been great about, let's be on the same page. Let's bring even guys in the training camp that we can evaluate and look at. And everybody in here is fighting for a spot. So essentially that's what you want them to do. But as the season goes on, we may have a full roster, but you never know. There may be a coming time in the season where someone in the D-League on our team or another team may have a chance to come in and help us, and we can evaluate them. So I think the D-League, has been a great tool. It's growing. Over 30% of the guys in the NBA now have been in the D-League, and I think that's a growing number.
We remember 1999 so fondly because of the way the season went. It was so dark, and then things got so bright. When you look at this team, do you see a possibility of that?
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing that I remember when we were playing, we had a kind of a good mixture of guys who were at their prime and veterans and young guys who were kind of entering into that stage of their career. And I think now we had to have that. And, the leadership on the team is the one thing that I truly see has really taken a level up. We have guys who really know how to lead, and that's not just going to be on one or two players. We got, between Jason, even, Melo has just grown in that area tremendously, in my opinion, and Amari. And then you have guys like Raymond and even Pablo. So you see the team responding in that area, and I think that's critical.
I wanted to ask you, because we've been talking about it, some of the players, and Mike Woodson said, I'm working for a championship, why else would you be here? But is there a concern that maybe it's too soon to say that? Championship, this is a team that hasn't won a playoff round in over a decade, but do you like that? Maybe set that standard now, make that the goal, and work for it all season so that that's what they're supposed to do and not be afraid of it.
You know what? I'll let everybody else kind of criticize this team for shooting too high. I think this is absolutely what everyone should be focusing on. You got the trophies all around the locker room. Maybe we'll have a trophy on the court just to remind, because I think that's important. It's important for you to have that goal. Right now, this is our window. This is our opportunity. This is our chance. So we can't control how good everybody else is or what they're doing, but essentially that is the end goal, and that's what everyone's shooting for, and I think that should be their standard.
Allan, you may not be able to see it, but over in the corner here in the gym is a dead horse, and we'll beat it one more time. Amari and Carmelo. How do you see it?
I love how it looks. I love how it looks. Just, first of all, I think we're putting too much on them to create that synergy, right? They should be the recipients, and I think that's what the beautiful thing about this summer. What Glenn has done a great job. Again, when you bring Jason in, you got Raymond Felton and even Pablo, and then when you think about Shump coming back, you have guys that can create offense for them. What's happened is, people say it hasn't worked, but because they've had to do so much on their own. And you don't want that to happen for them to be successful. That's why when you saw Melo be successful, he was even during the summer, he was the recipient of a lot of things. Even Amari, when he was successful with Raymond here and with Steve Nash, he was the recipient. So we can't expect them to initiate their own offense all the time and be successful, and that's why it's a team, and that's why I think just having good point guards was going to really be beneficial to both of them.
Thanks, Al. We'll see you during the season.
All right, thank you.